answer the question!
I don't know!
10 psychological facts that will blow your mind.
It doesn't seem like Barry. Barry is an extroverted leader.
Yes, I am.
The human mind is a fascinating and complex entity, capable of extraordinary actions and peculiar behaviors. It holds secrets and surprises that can challenge the way people think, the way we understand ourselves, and the way we interpret the innermost thoughts of those around us. We identify these things through the help of psychology. Psychology, the study of the mind and behavior, uncovers incredible facts that can blow our minds. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged as we explore 10 mind-blowing psychology facts. Fact 1. Did you know that having a backup plan can actually make our original plan less likely to work? Scientists at the University of Pennsylvania did a study on this. They had volunteers perform a certain task, and guess what? The participants who had a backup plan in mind actually did worse than those who didn't. The researchers also found something interesting. When people knew they had other options, their motivation to succeed decreased. It's like knowing there's a plan B made them less determined to give it their best shot. This relates to something called expectancy theory, which was developed by Victor H. Vroom back in 1964. Basically, this theory says that your motivation to do something depends on whether you believe you'll be successful at it. So, having a backup plan implies that you don't expect to succeed right away, and that can affect your motivation negatively. Fact 2. Imagine it's the start of the workday and you're all pumped up and ready to be super productive. You're sitting at your morning meeting surrounded by your colleagues when suddenly the person next to you lets out this huge, loud yawn. And guess what happens next? You find yourself yawning too, even though you're not even tired. It's called a response yawn. Surprisingly, this peculiar phenomenon holds a deeper meaning. One fascinating theory suggests that these contagious yawns actually demonstrate empathy. When we see someone yawning, our brains instinctively mirror their actions, forging a subtle connection. It's as if we're saying, "I understand what you're feeling." What's intriguing is that young children who are still developing their empathy skills and individuals on the autism spectrum who may struggle with empathy are less likely to experience this contagious effect. Fact 3. A significant study conducted at the University of Pennsylvania explored the behavior of individuals regarding donations to different causes. Participants were divided into 3 groups. One shown a picture of a starving young girl, another presented with a statistical representation of millions suffering from hunger, and a third exposed to both stimuli. The findings revealed that the group exposed solely to the statistical information exhibited the lowest donation inclination. The group presented with both stimuli displayed a slightly higher willingness to donate. Surprisingly, the group shown the picture of the young girl demonstrated the greatest generosity, contributing twice as much as the statistical group. Psychologists attribute this to the overwhelming nature of colossal problems like world hunger, which often leave individuals feeling helpless and insignificant. However, when presented with a specific individual, empathy is triggered, making the problem seem more tangible and solvable. Thus, assisting a single person becomes a more attainable objective, igniting the motivation to make a substantial impact even within a smaller scale. Fact 4. Have you ever found yourself at the grocery store completely forgetting your carefully crafted grocery list? It's frustrating, isn't it? But here's an interesting observation. Even without the list, you're likely to remember the items at the beginning and the end, while the ones in the middle tend to slip your mind. Turns out there's a scientific explanation for this phenomenon. A study published in the Frontiers of Human Neuroscience has shed light on this intriguing observation, known as the serial position effect. It explains why we tend to recall the first and last parts of a sequence more easily, while the middle portion tends to be a bit fuzzy in our memory. So if you find yourself struggling to recall the middle section of your manager's presentation, you're not alone. The serial position effect is a real thing and it happens to all of us. So before jumping to conclusions and assuming you have ADHD or faulty memory, rest assured that this phenomenon is quite common. Our brains simply have a natural inclination to anchor on to beginnings and ends, making them more memorable. Fact 5. You may have come across the suggestion to begin and end your day by reflecting on a few things that you appreciate. This simple practice aims to restore balance in our lives due to a cognitive tendency known as the negativity bias. Our minds have a natural inclination to fixate on negative experiences rather than positive ones. However, dwelling on negativity serves no purpose and only brings us down. Instead, strive to maintain a ratio of 5 positive things for every negative one in your life. By consciously focusing on the good, you can counterbalance the negative influences. This mindset shift has the potential to attract wonderful outcomes and experiences into your life. Fact 6. Have you ever pondered why food seems to always have an extra dash of deliciousness when someone else prepared it? It's not just your imagination. Interestingly, food tends to taste better when it's made by someone else, provided they possess decent culinary skills. Researchers attribute this phenomenon to a fascinating aspect of human psychology. When you're the one preparing a meal for yourself, the time that elapses between the cooking process and the moment you finally sit down to enjoy it can diminish the excitement and anticipation. As a result, the overall enjoyment of the meal may be dampened. However, when someone else takes on the task of cooking, it introduces an element of novelty and surprise. The anticipation builds up, making the flavors and aromas even more satisfying to your palate. This unique dynamic heightens the enjoyment of the meal, enhancing the overall taste experience. Fact 7. Ever experienced that unsettling feeling in the pit of your stomach when someone utters those dreaded words, "We need to talk"? Suddenly, your mind races through a multitude of potential negative scenarios. In such moments, you might even find yourself wishing for a straightforward breakup or an immediate termination from your boss. Intriguingly, research suggests that we have a tendency to prefer knowing that something unpleasant awaits us rather than enduring the torment of uncertainty. Our brains strongly dislike the unknown, triggering a frenzy of attempts to predict potential outcomes, both positive and negative. Fact 8. Enter the fascinating psychological phenomenon called reactance, where individuals are more inclined to break rules when they perceive their freedom as being curtailed. This is particularly noticeable in the behavior of teenagers. When faced with a punishment like grounding, not only may they attempt to evade it by sneaking out, but they might also indulge in other risky behaviors as a form of rebellion in response to the perceived loss of freedom. Fact 9. Puppies and babies. Those adorable bundles of joy. Doesn't it make your heart melt with the desire to shower them with affection, to gently squeeze them, and to snuggle them closely? Believe it or not, this seemingly contradictory impulse has a name: cute aggression. According to a fascinating article published in the Frontiers in Behavioral Neuroscience, this curious phenomenon arises from an overflow of intense positive emotions evoked by irresistibly cute creatures. To restore emotional equilibrium, a touch of aggression is believed to counterbalance these overwhelming feelings, ensuring that we don't inadvertently harm these innocent beings. Fact 10. Confirmation bias. The intriguing human inclination to interpret information in a manner that aligns with our pre-existing beliefs plays a significant role in shaping our perspectives. This cognitive bias sheds light on why individuals with specific political views tend to favor particular news outlets over others. The task of persuading someone like Uncle Fred to alter his stance on international relations can be a formidable challenge. Confirmation bias not only motivates us to actively seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs, but also prompts us to dismiss or ignore evidence that contradicts our viewpoints, inadvertently reinforcing our established convictions. From the way our memories can deceive us to the profound impact of colors and music, psychology unveils the hidden forces that shape our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. If you know any other psychology facts that will blow our mind, let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends so that we can keep making them. For more videos like this, hit the subscribe button and remember to click on the notification bell. Thanks for watching. Also, be sure to check out our other videos as well.